All right, hello y'all. Sorry I couldn't be there today. I had to take care of something, so I'll be back tomorrow. And tomorrow we will be reassessing our 6 weeks test in class. So the paper that I'm giving you, the color by number one, that is going to be due on Wednesday. So you're working on it today in class. You can work on it Tuesday evening or Tuesday in class after your reassessment, and it is due Wednesday at the beginning of class. No excuses. Okay, it is very easy to do, and with the notes that we're going to do today, you will be able to do it. Now, that being said, you need to make sure that you are writing down these notes. This video will also be on Canvas, so if you need to go back and listen to it again to make sure you understand it, you need to do that. You are responsible for this information. Just because I am not there doesn't mean that you are not responsible. Do we understand? Okay, so let's get started. You have 2 pieces of paper. I need you to get the pink one. That is the notes that we're going to do. Now, you have to keep track of this piece of paper. We will be coming back to it on Wednesday. As you can see on it, there's some other stuff written on it, so do not lose this paper. I am not going to give you another one. This is your only copy. All right, so let's get started. A mid-segment of a triangle is a line segment connecting the midpoints of 2 sides of a triangle. Okay, now midpoint, that means it's halfway between. So right here, this line in the middle, that is your mid-segment. It is halfway along this side right here and halfway along that side right there. So what that means is it's taking this side and it's splitting it exactly in half. So that means that this half, the top half of this side, is congruent to the bottom half of this side. Now on the other side of our triangle here, this is a different length. So we're going to say that this top half is congruent to the bottom half. And the mid segment, it's halfway down from the top of the triangle down to the bottom. So what that means for our measurements is, let's say that our mid segment is 7. Okay, now it's only halfway down. So by the time that we get all the way down to the bottom, this number, the 7, has been multiplied by 2 to get our full bottom length. So your mid segment is only half of the actual length of the third side that it's across from. So 7 times 2, you get down to 14. Or 14, you take half of it and you get to 7. Okay, every triangle has 3 mid-segments, and they're shown here in this picture. And mid-segments do not have a vertex. Remember, vertex means corner. Okay, they do not have a vertex as an endpoint, so you can't have a mid-segment that ends in one of the corners of your triangle. That just doesn't work. And you have to kind of look at the mid-segment. You can kind of turn your paper several different ways, but we're going to look at this mid-segment going that way. You don't need to write this arrow. I'm just demonstrating. Okay, this mid-segment goes that way, and this mid-segment goes this way. So you kind of have to alter how you're looking at it. And so this mid-segment splits the sides. Okay, so this top half and bottom half, those will be congruent to each other. Over here, this is a different side length, so those parts would be congruent to each other. And here, again, this is our third side length, so our mid-segment splits this in half there. So these parts are congruent. And notice how I'm using the different numbers of tick marks. You have to be able to do that. So the midsegment theorem, it says a midsegment of a triangle is parallel to the third side and half the length of the third side. So if we go back and look at our original example up here, you see the midsegment and the bottom side, they're running parallel to each other, so we could put the parallel symbols on them. And if you notice, the midsegment is 7, which is half of 14. So your midsegment is always half. So if you're going from the bottom up, you are dividing by 2. If you're going from the midsegment down, you're multiplying by 2. So we'll do a quick example here that's similar to some of the ones on your worksheet. So I need everybody to go to this picture, and I need you to write in x minus 3 on the midsegment, and I need you to write x plus 6 on this third side of the triangle. So now we need to remember that the bottom side is called AC, right? And ED is 1/2 of that. So 1/2 times AC is equal to ED, the segments. Or you could think of it the other way around. 2 times the mid-segment, which is ED, is equal to just 1 of your third side, which is AC. I kind of tend to think of it like this way, okay? Because I know a lot of us don't like dealing with fractions, so I figure just dealing with the 2 times the mid-segment, that will be easier. So let's go and set up our segment here. We know 2 times ED. So we got to do 2 times, and then ED is x minus 3. And that's equal to x plus 6, because x plus 6 is what AC says. And so now we're going to solve for x. So we multiply in. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 3 is minus 6. That's equal to x plus 6. So let's move our x. So minus x minus x. So we get x minus 6 is equal to 6. Add 6 to both sides. And you get x equals 12. And so this example right here is exactly what you're going to have to do on your worksheet. So this is all the notes that we're doing for today. We're going to come back to midsegment on Wednesday, okay? And if you notice down at the bottom, we have altitude. We're going to come to that another day. So we're saving these pages, and we're going to put them in a little booklet. So remember, your midsegment is half of the bottom side. So if you take the midsegment and you multiply it by 2, you get the bottom side. Or if you take the bottom side and you divide by 2, you get the midsegment. So we'll go to our practice. 1 through 5, they're fairly easy. You guys can figure those out. Just looking at the example, the first one. I'm going to work out number 6 with you all. So remember, we have to take our midsegment and multiply it by 2 to get our bottom side. So 2 times x minus 1 is equal to x plus 3. So that's what we start off with. We'll do our distributive property. Y'all have to remember to multiply to both items in here. That was the thing I noticed y'all forgot. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 1 is minus 2, and that's equal to x plus 3. Let me see if I can rewrite that. So we get 2x minus 2 equals to x plus 3. All right, and then we'll solve here. So minus x minus x. X minus 2 equals 3. Add 2 to both sides. X equals to 5. And so that's it. So all the rest of these here, they're no more complicated of a concept, just maybe a little bit different algebra. So y'all need to go through. We're working on these. You ought to be able to be done with this by the end of class. It is due Wednesday when you walk into class, coloring and all. So there's the 2 pages of this. The coloring part needs to be done. The problem part needs to be done. If you need colors, you can come see me in the morning. You can come see me after school. But there's no reason why we should not get that done. All right. So you guys should have it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.